guys, how's it going? And welcome to the Newcastle United keep or sell video for the upcoming 2022-23 season. The summer window is officially open, and behind me we have, as per tradition, this is the 5th year I've done this video now. We have the backwards wrapping paper with the current Newcastle squad written on there, along with some youngsters as well. And over here we have a green pen for the players we want to keep. We have a red pen for the players we want to sell, and we have a blue pen for the players we want to loan. Now, I'm going to be honest, in previous years, I wouldn't necessarily sell too many players, and that's because with Mike Ashley, we were never going to replace them. But this summer, I think is going to be a little bit different, so I am going to try and be a little bit more ruthless with this red pen this year. And as always, this is my opinion, so let me know down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you want to let me know your full keep or sell for the Newcastle squad in the comments? I'd love to read what you guys think. And we have just hit 30,000 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I do have a big 30,000 subscriber special planned, so if you're not subscribed, please do so and look out for it. I've got loads of videos planned this summer. Cannot wait for the start of the new season. And if you enjoy this video, please drop a like as well. Alright guys, let's get started. Right then, let's start off with the goalkeepers. Now, I am a bit 50-50 on what I would like to see happen this summer. On one hand, if we went in with Dubravka 1, Darlow 2, Gillespie 3 to the new season, I don't think that's that bad. I think that Dubravka is too far ahead of these two. I just can't see Darlow or Gillespie getting a game, and if Dubravka gets injured, is Darlow good enough to cover? Maybe, just about, as long as he's not out for the whole season. So I don't mind them three, but Eddie Howe's come in. We were linked with a new goalkeeper back in January. We're linked with a new goalkeeper again this summer. And it seems to be a position that Eddie Howe wants to strengthen. Again, on two parts, I think. One, Eddie Howe is looking to possibly challenge Dubravka for that number one spot. Again, he's getting no competition off these guys. So can we bring someone in to help fight with Dubravka for that number one spot? Create a bit of competition. And two, I think Eddie Howe wants a keeper with a bit more football playing ability, with better distribution. I think Dubravka's okay, and again, that's why I would not be upset if we started the season with Dubravka 1, 2, 3. I think it's alright. I think we could improve it, which is why I am going to give Dubravka a tick. I think Dubravka's a good goalkeeper. He's 33 years old. I think he's got 2 years left on his deal. I think whether he's number one next season or potentially number two, fighting with another goalkeeper, that would be what I would like to see. And then as for the other guys, I am going to go ahead and give them both a cross. Now, again, we need to start the season with 3 goalkeepers. We aren't going to go out and sell both of them. But if someone offers for Darlow, if we bring a new keeper in to start off, then someone offers 5-10 million in the Championship for Darlow, I think we'll take it. The same with Gillespie. Gillespie's only got 1 year left, so again, you could look at it as, should we stick with these 3 for 1 more year? Gillespie goes, then we bring another goalie in. So I don't think it needs to happen this summer, but I think it's definitely something that's on Eddie Howe's radar, and I would agree that some competition for Dubravka would be good. Again, Langley down here, I've included him. He is just a youngster, 21 years old. Could he be number 3 this season? He has been playing with the senior squad for, I think, 2 seasons now. So Eddie Howe definitely knows where he's at in terms of ability. The question is, surely he's going to get more experience out on a loan than sitting on the bench for a full year. So that's what I'm going to go with him. And then Woodman. Freddie Woodman. Again, I've said I've done this video 4 or 5 years in a row now. When is that man ever going to get a game? You know, I'm slightly disappointed, and Woodman's a player that I think all Newcastle fans have been egging on to hopefully one day take that number one. And it just hasn't happened. You look back to, 4 or 5 years ago when he won the England World Cup with the under-20s. Then after that he went on loan to Swansea, got them to the playoff spots, won Golden Glove for that season. He then went out on loan to Bournemouth this season, couldn't actually get a game. And how many times are we going to loan him before we finally say, okay, it's time to go? And obviously you have that constant worry that we let him go, and then he has 2 great seasons and he's back in the Prem playing for somebody else, thinking, why the hell didn't we do that? But I think with the new owners now, we're going to go out and potentially buy a new goalkeeper this summer, if not next summer. And Woodman's not going to get the chance. He had the chance, where he let in, was it 12 goals in 4 games or something at the start of the season, which is just, it's not all his fault, because at the end of the day, our defence was very poor at the start of the season. But, I'm going to officially give Woodman the cross, and it does hurt me to do that. And who knows, maybe we could loan him for 1 more year, and maybe he'll come back and could potentially be that player who fits in behind Dubravka and somebody else as the 3rd choice. But I just think for his career, he's going to want to go and play first team football somewhere, and I just don't think he's going to get it at Newcastle. So those are the keepers. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's move on to the right backs. So Trippier is an easy one. A nice big green tick for him. Obviously came in the January window. Quite disappointing that obviously he got injured and was not able to play for the majority of time he was here, but hoping to see him in a lot more action next season. And for me, I would like to see as the new club captain as well. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. Then we've got Manquillo and Kraft. Kraft is the man who, in fairness, I didn't think would be the stand-in for Trippier. I assumed it would have been Manquillo. It wasn't, it was Kraft. And in fairness to Kraft, he did a really good job. He did a really good job. It's far enough that, in theory, he kept us up. Kraft was the man, and yes, Trippier scored some very important goals, but really, Kraft was the man who played the majority of those games in the second half of the season, and for that, I am going to give him a tick. Again, well done, Kraft. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Will we renew that? Possibly not. But for now, I'm saying yes to Kraft. And then it brings up the question of Manquillo. Do we need 3 right backs? That's the question. Manquillo can play right and left back, which is helpful to have, except for the fact, and we'll get over there, we've got about 1 million left backs. So that doesn't really come into play too much. The big question is do you think we need three right backs? And I'm going to be honest, I thought about this probably a lot longer than I should have, but ultimately came to the decision that I think if we get an offer for Manquillo, we let him go, to be honest. Again, we need to create space on this side. I know I've got so many crosses up here, but again, we need 3 goalkeepers. Realistically, if we sign 1, we're not selling them all. Or maybe let 1 of them go. That's really if we'll get an offer for Darlow, we'll let him go. If we get an offer for Gillespie, we'll let him go, but not both. Manquillo, if we are able to get an offer for him, I think we say yes to it. Let me know your thoughts on the right backs down below. And we'll spin straight round to the left-hand side. Target, again, easy tick. Came in on loan in January, did a fantastic job. And we've now signed him on a full 4-year deal, permanent deal. £12 million it cost us, 15 million if you include the loan fee as well. But again, you struggle to get a squad player for that much, So to get him in as good a job he did last year, I think was a cracking deal. Dummett, we have just given a new 1-year deal to, so I will give him a tick. I think there is reason to say that maybe with us trying to again create space in this squad, that we could have potentially have seen Dummett walk away this summer after a fantastic career, and this is something I'm going to get into a lot this video. Great servant to the club. Same with, Manquillo did a great job while he was here. A lot of these guys have done a great job, but it's just where we're at. We're going to have to move people on, and one of those people, I think, needs to be Richie. Again, another player that we signed back in that 2016-17 season, helped us get promoted, has done a cracking job. I think everyone loved how much work ethic he has and how hard he tried for the team. But again, we've got about 1 million left backs over here. Richie obviously did not get a game in the second half of the season. It was all Target. I mean, you could say that Richie is really a more forward player, but he's not going to play ahead of St. Max or Fraser, is he? So then you're looking at how can we shoehorn him in here. Maybe we can put him in as a left back. Again, we've got Target. We've kept Dummett. Where is Richie fitting in? And he's getting older now, and I think if we could potentially move him on to another side, maybe one of the promoted sides, maybe a championship side, will he want to go and play for them? Maybe not, to be honest. And Eddie Howe knows him from his previous time at Bournemouth. Maybe he wants to keep him around for that work ethic. But for me, I think it's Richie's time to go. And then we get on to Lewis. Lewis is another player that I probably spent way too long thinking about. And again, that's... We obviously have not included him in the squad for the second half of the season. Which obviously says that Eddie Howe wasn't too impressed. And there is rumours that maybe Lewis could rejoin the squad for the upcoming season. I think he's still young. I think there's still time. I think that if we could bring him in and get him, teachings underneath Target, then maybe he could be decent. Again, before Target came in, it was Lewis had to be good. There was no question. We had no left back. Dummett was always injured. It was Lewis. You've got to be good. Then Richie wasn't very good, and it was all just this shambles of having no left back. The minute Target came in, Lewis didn't get a chance, which is fair because Target is way better. But going into the new season, could he play as a number 2? Could he maybe, bring back his career? Again, I've thought about this for a long time, and it's the Dummett thing as well. Dummett has been given a new deal, and I think, is it because Eddie Howe doesn't see the confidence in Lewis? If Eddie Howe is going to keep Lewis, why are we giving Dummett a new 1-year deal? And again, we'll get onto him. Dan Burn, left-footed, played left back for Brighton a load of times. So, you've got Target, Dummett and Dan Burn all able to play left back. Where is Lewis in this equation? So for me, it's go. And to add to that, we're talking about creating space in this squad. Lewis wasn't in the squad for the second half of last season. So we would actually be bringing him back. He would be taking up a space that we're actually trying to get rid of. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. I've basically left it with 2 right backs, 2 left backs. Burn can cover that side. Shaw can cover the other one, maybe. It's up there. Let me know your thoughts on them down below. Next up, let's talk centre-backs. So we'll do a few easy ones first. We'll go with Dan Burn. Signed in the January. Has taken a lot of credit for basically stabilising our defence in the second half of the season. And he did that alongside Fabian Shaw. Has just been given a new 2-year deal, which I definitely think he deserves. Again, a player who, for a certain amount of time, looked like he didn't want to be here. He looked like he wasn't bothered anymore. Under Eddie Howe, alongside Dan Burn, I think for me has refreshed his career. I think he looks good. We're keeping Shaw. In terms of, again, easy ones with the red pen, I'm going to give Clark across. Again, another servant to the club, another player who was here to help us get promoted into the Premier League. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Can we potentially get a bit of money for him this summer? Possibly, possibly not. He's 32 years old. And again, he didn't want to leave on loan in January, did he? He didn't want to go out. He wanted to stay. And is that because he's 32 and his family lives up here and he doesn't want to, drag them around? So I can see us getting to the point where Newcastle have to start creating conversations with these players and saying, look, can we pay you half of your wage and you can just go, kind of thing, because it's going to be really tough to move some of these guys on. Moving on. Let's go Lascelles. So again, this is another player that I did spend a bit of time thinking about. Newcastle are linked with centre-backs. We are linked with bringing in... We will sign at least one centre-back this summer. I am very certain of that. Could we potentially sign 2 centre-backs? Maybe. In doing that, would leave Lascelles as 4th or 5th choice for the new season. And does Lascelles want that? Would Lascelles rather move to, again, a promoted side linked with Nottingham Forest? Would he rather go and get first-team football there? Or would he rather sit on the bench for us for a season? He's 28 years old. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He is the current club captain. And I am going to give him a tick. I did a separate video of this one a few weeks ago, or last week, where I spoke about players potentially leaving. And I actually said that I think for the sake of Lascelles' own career, if he gets offered a chance to move, he should take it. But for me, as a Newcastle fan, who in theory wants the best for Lascelles but also wants the best for the team, you talk about Eddie Howe creating that leadership group. Lascelles is part of that, and if he is willing to sit in 4th or 5th choice, then I guess I would keep him around. Let me know your thoughts on Lascelles. I think that's a very 50-50 topic, and I am 50-50 standing here right now. I've given him a tick, but if he did get offered a chance to move, for his sake, I would tell him to take it. And we move on to Fernandes. Again, we need 5 centre-backs going into the new season. And at the end of the day, I would say that if Fernandes was potentially willing to go out on loan, he's 33, he's got a year left. He's not really going to go on loan anywhere. Maybe he wants to go back to Argentina. Maybe he would go out there on loan for a year. Maybe he would just be happy to end the contract and he could go out there. I'm going to give him a cross. Again, a fantastic servant, but 33 now, and he's not getting any game time. And there was a period where, for me, Fernandes was our best centre-back. It's not that time anymore. And when it's at the point where even Lascelles is getting ahead of you in the pecking order, I think it's time to go. Again, you need 5 centre-backs. So if it's Shaw and Byrne, a new centre-back, so that's 3. If we bring in another centre-back, that's 4. Lascelles is 5th choice. If we have Byrne, Shaw, new centre-back, but just bring in 1 centre-back, then Lascelles is 4. Fernandes would be 5. And again, he's got 1 year left. Can he just fill in as that number 5 for 1 more year? And then let him go next summer. I think that's a possibility. But I think, again, if there is an opportunity to move him on, we should take it. And we'll finish off with Watts down here as well. Again, another youngster. He was out on loan throughout the season at Wigan. And by all means, did a good job. 22 years old. And I'm going to give him another loan. Is he potentially in the running for... If we bring in 1 centre-back, Fernandes goes, can Watts be the 5th choice centre-back? Possibly. I would probably say yeah, to be honest. But it's for a youngster, it's not worth doing. You're better off getting him out, getting them some game time. Let me know your thoughts on the centre-backs down below. Right then, let's talk midfielders. So again, we'll do some easy ones with the green pen. We'll go through Bruno. Again, signed in January. Took a bit of time before we finally got him involved. I think because Shelvey, Willock, Joe Linton were having such a great run, it took a bit of time before we finally introduced Bruno, but what a player he is. We have done really well to bring him in, and obviously he gets a big green tick. I've just mentioned him. Bruno's Brazilian counterpart, Joe Linton, gets a big tick as well. Again, came in as a striker, wasn't working. Eddie Howe came in, moved him back into midfield, and he's just been brilliant, to be honest. And even at the end of the season, we saw him play up front against Norwich, put the ball in the back of the net, and I just think it's a confidence thing with Joe Linton. I just think he was so low, and now he's riding such a high. I think he could do anything. We could put him at right back if we wanted to. I think he would do a good job there as well. I think that is quite literally where Joe Linton is now. Next up, I'm going to go Willock. I am going to give him a green tick. Again, he's 22. He's still got 5 years left. You talk about Eddie Howe transforming Shaw, Joe Linton. I want to try and see what you can do with this guy as well. I think Willock is obviously a great player. Single-handedly saved us from relegation the previous season. And then, this season, again, he was part of that side alongside Shelvey, Joe Linton, who really had a great run in the side. He started slow. He came into it late. He kind of had a few here and there's. He's not first choice anymore. He's not guaranteed start, is what I'll say. He doesn't start necessarily every game. I think he has a lot of talent, and we need to see more from him. Again, 5-year deal, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. We've only just bought him, really. So I want to see what Willock can do next. Let's go on to... Let's go Shelvey. So John Joe Shelvey has 1 year left on his deal. He's 30 years old now. The question for me really is two things. Do Newcastle plan to give Shelvey a new deal? Or do Newcastle potentially look at getting some money for him now? Because at the end of next season, he can walk on a free. Or will Newcastle go, look, we'll let him go at the end of next season? Will they look at potentially giving him a 1 year deal? Will Shelvey prefer to leave without a new deal and go to another side for a 3 year deal at a championship side who will give him, a bumper contract because they've not actually had to buy him? So there's quite a lot going on with Shelvey there. I think ultimately I will give him a tick. Again, another player who was great this season. Again, another player who sometimes shows up when he wants to. Sometimes he doesn't look like he wants to be on the pitch. Not this season. He looked like he was fighting for it. And again, it's competition. For a long time, Shelvey didn't have any competition, really. We just played him every week because there was no one else to put on the pitch. The minute some of these guys start coming in the door and he's going, hang on, I better start performing here. And he really did rise to that challenge. Is he the best midfielder we've got anymore? No. But can he do a job? Yes. It's just on whether, are we going to renew his deal? Are we going to let it run out? And again, that's maybe something we can worry about next summer, especially if we're spending this summer. By the end of this summer, we might have already bought 2 or 3 new players, and come next summer, we need to make space again, and maybe that's when Shelvey could potentially go. But yeah, I'm very happy to keep Shelvey at the club. Now then, Matty and Sean Longstaff. Did you remember that Matty was here? To be honest, because I feel sorry for Matty. He was linked with leaving last summer. He was going to go to Watford or Udinese. Steve Bruce convinced him that you know what it is. You need to stay. You're going to get more game time. And what do? Never play him again. We loan him out. He's a Geordie lad. I want to see the best for him, but I am going to give him a red cross. Again, it's another player who wasn't in the squad this year. So if we did keep Matty Longstaff, he would be taking up a space that we want to use to bring players in, and that's when you've got to be a bit harsh. You could say, you know what it is. I'll put it on there. I'm undecided. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I think Matty will have finished this season and gone, you know what it is. If I can get away, great. If I can't, I'll just ride this out and go and sign somewhere else when his contract ends, because we have treated him so badly in making him sign a new deal when he could have gone somewhere else. I think he, for his own sake, should go and find some first team football. And again, I feel harsh because The goal he scored against Manchester United, he's a Geordie lad. His brother plays for the side. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then Sean Longstaff, again, we have just given him a new deal. 3-year deal for Longstaff, so I will give him a tick. 24 now, 24 years old, Sean Longstaff. Again, you look back at, for once upon a time, Lascelles was good. It was linked with like big moves in England call-ups and stuff, and Longstaff, wasn't far behind at one point, linked with, again, moves to Manchester United and in all sorts, and basically, like many players, got bruised and just lost confidence and wasn't as good. Now, I feel like Sean finished the season strong. Again, had he been let go this summer at the end of his contract, that may well have been a choice that would have suited him as well. I don't know. Obviously, he wants to stay at the club. He was wanting to go and get first team football. He's decided to stay on. It helps with our homegrown quota. I think he's a good squad player. Could that have potentially have been a space to help make room in the squad? Similar with the Dummett one? Maybe. But I also think Eddie Howe doesn't want to have a complete overhaul. So I do get why we've kept Longstaff. And as I say, the midfield it's you know what I mean? Like, if these guys all stay, that's the 5 midfielders, isn't it? Again, we're linked with centre midfielders in this window. I think that's why we might struggle to bring one in. Unless it's more of a number 10 role, which I think could work. But they're pretty much sorted. And then it brings us on to the final 2 here. Hendrick, I am going to give a red cross to. Again, another player who went out on loan, went to QPR. I mean, big up Hendrick, because you talk about Clark didn't want to go anywhere. Hendrick was like, no, I want first team football. He went to QPR. In fairness, Hendrick also was in the Ireland squad, so I think he had to stay fit and match fit for Ireland. In fairness, QPR have come out and said that they don't plan on signing him. So what we do with Hendrick next is going to be a tough one. He's still got 2 years left on his deal. He's 30 years old. And again, if we were to bring him back, that's another player who's like actually taking away another space from the squad rather than making a space. So he has to go. Hopefully we can arrange for him to maybe move to a championship side. And then we've got Elliot Anderson. Definitely want to include him. Had a fantastic time at Bristol. Helped them get promoted with goals, assists. Joey Barton obviously sung his praises the whole time. And I am going to give him a loan. Again, it would have been great if we could have potentially have seen him in the final few games of the season, because our season went on a little bit longer than his did. That didn't happen, but there are heavy rumours that Howe wants to keep him in the squad for the pre-season so we can take a proper look at him and decide what to do next. So maybe we could see him involved. Again, you do not have to register players under the age of 21. Anderson is 19. So could he benefit more from being with the squad? It depends where he is, and that's why Eddie Howe needs to take a look at him in the pre-season. He was in League One. We need to get him in a championship loan now. And it's not a championship team in the bottom half. It's a team pushing promotion. That would be the best loan for me to see him get. But, we could see him in the pre-season, which would be very exciting as well. So let me know your thoughts on the midfielders down below. Next up, we have the wide players. Now, I'll start over on the left. We have got St. Max and Fraser, and I've got my big green pen out because I'm going to give them both a tick. St. Max is linked with being moved on this summer to Spurs and a few other links. And I do get it, because his numbers aren't as good as maybe they should be. But for me, he has the ability to be, top class. If you don't already think he's a great player, which I do, I think he's a very good player. I honestly think he can hit that next level. And under Eddie Howe, he's only 25. He's still got 4 years left on his deal. You talk about players we want to let go this summer. St. Max isn't one of them. And one of the conversations you could have is, well, if we got 40 million, could we use that for someone better? And I get that, but For me, it's no. I still think St. Max is one of our best players, and just with a little bit more guidance, a little bit more training. And when you look at the end of the season, he started crossing it more. He started getting the pass off more. You know, it's no longer the St. Max stand up front on your own and we'll just hoof the ball to you. Please go and score. You know, that's how he's had to play for us for a few years. And to suddenly turn around and go, right, we want you to do this, that, and the other instead. It's going to take a learning curve. He's had injury issues. He's been unfit. I'm making excuses. But I want him to stay and I want to see him improve. And then we've got Fraser, who, again, under Eddie Howe has, you know, changed his career as well. 28 years old, prime of his life, injury prone. But when he's fit, he's a fantastic player. And if I'm honest, I'm going to start moving over onto this side now. My preferred is St. Max left, Fraser right. I've put Fraser on this side because I think that is his natural position. I think he plays better on that side. But really, I'd rather see them two start than these two. And that's what brings me on to over here. So if you're thinking, could I have maybe let one of them go? Well, you're going to find out why I've done that. And I did. I spent quite a long time again on these two. I think part of that was that I was kind of thinking of them as together rather than as individuals. But generally speaking, I've just mentioned it there, I'd rather see Fraser start over here than either of them. So at that point, you want one sub, and then you need three on this side. And right wing is a position which we are clearly looking to strengthen this summer through the rumours that are already coming out. And I can see why, to be honest. Murphy, he's a Newcastle fan. He's still got 5 years left on his deal. He's 27 years old. But he's been here with 3 different managers. He's had Eddie Howe, he's had Bruce, and he's had Rafa, and none of them have played him. Rafa brought him in, and for whatever reason, he didn't fancy him anymore. He didn't want to play him. Bruce didn't want him. And now Eddie Howe doesn't play him either. So I'm just thinking, why is no one giving this guy a game? And Almiron, again, has been potentially linked away this summer. And you talk about his work rate and what he can bring to the side, but ultimately, and I understand the same query on St. Max's. What are the numbers? You know, how many actual goals? How many actual assists? And yes, Almiron did score that fantastic goal against Crystal Palace. But if I'm not mistaken, did he get any assists this season? Or if he did, it was very few. Okay, so I'm at the point now where I think, and again, it doesn't have to be both. It's similar to the goalkeepers. If we can get bids for either of those two players, I would highly consider letting them go. I think Murphy especially. And again, it comes down to, are we going to sign a right winger this summer? If we don't sign one, we aren't going to let them go without first having the replacement. But if we are able to bring someone in, then maybe we start listening to offers. And we won't let them both go. I can see them both staying, to be honest. But as I say, I just think that I'm trying to be ruthless with the red pen because we need to clear out some room in this squad. Again, you talk about Lewis, Clark, Matty, Hendrick. None of these guys were in the squad anyway. So they haven't actually made any room. They weren't in the squad anyway. So in reality, I haven't maybe crossed as many as I could have. I need to make some space somewhere, and that's where I've done it. So we've kept the left, we've got rid of the right. Fraser over there works for me, and then can we bring in something to either improve that or at least bring in some players who are going to compete? Because if Fraser and Max are fit, they play. You know, for me, they aren't creating the competition that we need right now. All right, let me know what you think about the left wingers and the right wingers. And to finish off, we have the strikers. So let me know your thoughts down below. I think this is definitely a position that we are looking to strengthen this summer. We'll start off with the green tick for Callum Wilson. Honestly, if Callum Wilson could stay fit, I think he's in with a shout of an England call-up, you know. England in the most recent international break struggled to score goals. I think Wilson is, you know, top-end Premier League striker. But he's not fit. He can't stay fit. Obviously, I'm going to give him a tick because he's great, but he missed a lot of this season. And again, that's another reason why we need to look to strengthen. He's 30 years old. He's got 2 years left on his deal. We've got Chris Wood over here, also 30 years old, also 2 years on his deal. 25 million we spent on Chris Wood. And you can look at it two ways, and I've seen people look at it both ways. One is that he didn't really score any goals, did he? We brought him in for 25 million. He did not contribute the numbers that we hoped he would. The other side is he did score a couple of important goals. He was part of the side that kept us up this season. So yes, he wasn't scoring, but he was certainly doing something that was helping. Now, I am going to give Chris Wood a green tick. First of all, because we've just bought him in January and I can't see him going. So whether I wanted him to or not, I cannot see him being let go. However, if somebody offered us 25 million, someone offered us the 25 million we spent on Chris Wood this summer, I would take it. I would take it. I think if someone offered us 20 million, I would probably take it. I just think that he hasn't quite fit the striker role that we need. I think when you play up front on your own, you either need the service or to be able to do it for yourself. I think Wilson is quick, he's agile, he can chase the ball, he can head the ball, he can do a lot. Chris Wood is strong and is good at getting in positions, but he isn't able to run the channels or chase the ball or get the one over the top. He's very much stand in the pen spot and wait for the ball. And had Trippier stayed fit and had been able to do that, because again, Crafty was not a man to get up the wing, really. He did all right, but Trippier's the man who swings it in. Had Trippier been fit, maybe we could have seen a different Chris Wood with the ball on the end to head in the back of the net. And with Trippier fit this upcoming season, maybe we could see that from Wood. So it's not to say that he isn't going to go on and improve, but I also think if Wilson's fit, Wilson plays. I don't really think Wood is necessarily challenging for that spot. I think it's nailed on Wilson, praying that he doesn't get injured. And if he does get injured, is Wood going to be enough for the rest of the season? Numbers wise, maybe not, but I'll give him a tick. If someone can offer us for a new striker, I'd take it. Dwight Gale, I'm going to give a cross to. Again, another striker who again has been a fantastic servant of the club. 32 years old now, still has 2 years left on his deal. That is because we loaned him out to West Brom a few years ago, and the only way he was willing to go on loan was if we offered him an extended, increased contract, which I'm sure at the time made sense, but really is struggling to make sense anymore. And again, a player who helped us get promoted, and was that his best season for us? The season he got us promoted? Possibly. So Gale's a no, which means, yeah, I think we'll bring in a striker. I think it's definitely on our list of things to do this summer. Wilson's injury prone. Wood doesn't know how to score a goal. Maybe that's harsh. But we need someone to come in and compete here. So that is what we will hopefully do over the summer. Let me know your thoughts on my keep or sell decisions down in the comments below. If we did let go of one of the goalkeepers, Fernandez, Ritchie, Gale, Manquillo, Murphy and Almiron, or maybe one of the two, that would be 6 spaces going into the summer window. I don't think we're going to sign 6 players. I think maybe 3 or 4, not including Target. Could see 3 or 4 players come in. Now again, the issue is that Woodman, Clark, Lewis, Matty Longstaff, Hendrick, all of which weren't in the squad last season anyway. So it's not just the ones that we need to clear out to make space in the squad for, it's also clearing out the players who weren't actually in the squad for the end of last season anyway. So there's a lot of work to do in terms of making space. Again, do I think we will let go of quite as many as I've put on here? No. Again, I think we'll let go of maybe one of them, maybe we end up sticking with Dubravka, Darlow and Gillespie. You know, there's a lot of possibilities on what could happen this summer, but it's all very exciting and I cannot wait to see, hopefully, a few transfers coming in the window. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, again, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to click here and find out a little bit more about Dan Ashworth, the man that we recently brought in as our new sporting director, and will be the man, I've no doubt, sat at home doing it exactly the same, deciding which players we should let go this summer. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, the support is really appreciated, and I'll catch you later.